But there's a lot in there.
Welcome home to St. Anne's, a place of community, love, and faith. No matter who you are or where you are in your spiritual journey, there's a place for you at Christ's table. Join us Sundays at 10 a.m. or anytime online. We look forward to seeing you.
It is. I know. Go ladies. And I think it is perfectly beautiful that it falls under the same day that we're talking about the Samaritan woman. So we're going to try and weave these two things together because I think they're both very, very important things, and they have a lot to share with us. And God is definitely speaking through this reading and through our experiences in this world. So the Samaritan woman, I know many of you know this, but I'll just do a quick reprieve. Samaritans are bad. Say ooh. Ew, we don't like them. They are them. They're Kansans, okay. Yeah, like probably Wildcat fans. Ew, right. Now, I don't really have a side because I'm from Iowa and I'm a Hawkeye, but as I understand it, there are strong feelings between Mizzou and KU. Is it KU? KU we don't like. I don't know, and KU doesn't like K-State. I don't know. I can't keep track of everyone's bias. I've got my own to keep track of. But anyway, and it's a kind of the same in the Bible. The people that we dislike the most are the ones most like us because we have to differentiate ourselves from them, you know? The reason that the early Christians and the Jews didn't like each other had nothing to do with belief whatsoever. It's because the Romans thought they were the same people. And so they're just persecuting them all. And the Jews and the Christians are like, no, they're different. Persecute them. Not us, them. They're different. The same with the Israelites and the Samaritans. They're all kind of from the same families, right? But they did have different styles of worship. And they just had different kind of beliefs. So think of denominations, right? So we're all kind of Christian, but like there's nobody that you dislike more than other Christians. They're doing it wrong. My God. It's the worst. Give me an atheist any day. Because just the Christians are just wrong. So it's kind of the same. There's a lot of bias and bigotry here. And when you're trying to create a society and a community which is secure and healthy and safe, what do? You exclude, right? We keep away anything that might be different because it might in some way potentially threaten our community, right? So the Samaritan woman, and also you have this, did you pick up? Yeah, because Jesus is kind of joking here. But there is kind of a piece of this of she's not. Yes, I like how Robert phrased that. Yes, she's not perhaps the most godly of sorts. Yes, not the most pure of women, you know. When I was growing up not in my tradition or whatever, but I went to Roman Catholic schools, and one of the things that we were taught is women are like a stick of gum. Once it's chewed up, nobody wants it again. Happy International Women's Day, y'all. Yeah. So he has kind of this joke about there being all these husbands or whatever. So there's a reason that she's coming to the well at that time of day. Because the well is where you go to meet people. It's the watering hole. The watering hole. Like, somebody's got to find number 6. You can't just... Anyway, so we have a lot of... So do you pick up in this that there's a lot of... She is not someone that Jesus should be hanging out with. Right? Do you pick that up? It's very, very clear in here. And so, it is... Yes, Katie.
But he is just kind of chilling by a well. And grabbing some lunch. Is he just asking everybody to give him a drink that comes up to the well that day?
You know.
I'm just trying to figure out what's on his schedule.
Oh, well, let's talk about what's on his schedule. Because I think that's what's really, really important here. It's because we have this figure who represents everything that is impure, that should be avoided, that is not one of us, right? And up until this moment, Jesus has been very, very clear that Jesus is here to save the Jews, right? Jesus, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. Anytime somebody tells you about Jesus, just remind them that Jesus is a Jew. Jesus is born a Jew. Jesus ministers as a Jew. Jesus dies as a Jewish person, okay? And up until this moment, his ministry is strictly for the Israelite community. Strictly. He's only coming for them. And we have this story, and suddenly his ministry will change. And that's so very, very important. Because do you know when International Women's Day actually started? So the first time is roughly 1909. And there's some women in Germany, maybe? I'm not sure. Europe, somewhere. One of those European countries, you know. And they gathered because guess what? Women are strongly persecuted at the turn of the century, the turn of the last century, for our young people there who like to point out that those of us are old and we were born in the 19th century. I live with those kids. Anyway, not necessarily a great time to be a woman because guess what? You have to work a lot. So women are now having to work a lot, but they're not getting paid really well. And the money that you make doesn't go to you. If there is a man in your life, we're looking at you, Samaritan woman, he's going to get whatever resources you provide, right? So you can't really vote. You have to work, usually dangerous menial jobs that do not pay well because you're a woman. And you don't get the resources that you make anyway. Not necessarily a great time to be a woman. So some women come together on March 8th, and they're like, look, we're creating a day to fight for women's rights. And 1911, it kind of becomes an international thing. It becomes a thing, right? It's not until 1977 that the UN actually picks it up. So we've had International Women's Day for a while, until 1977, and there are lots of people who remember 1977. It's not that long ago that finally the UN was like, you know, we should probably do something about this. And so we get International Women's Day. UN picks it up. And so really the day is about exactly what this Samaritan woman is doing. It's about a group of people saying, we matter. A group of people that are considered untouchable. They're considered lesser than. They're considered to be not the same as. Now, are they expected to do the same work and to do all these same things? Yes. But they're not like actually meant to have opinions or be part of the group that Jesus is saving, right? I mean, we wouldn't ordain them because, ew. God. My first church, God love them. I had this elderly lady, and she was like, when they first talked about ordaining women, she was like, oh, that's cute. Can you imagine one being pregnant behind the altar? I was pregnant. And this woman absolutely loved me. And she was like, God, we've grown. And I was like, I know, because you're right. Anyway, you all have experienced that a year ago. I was not a nice person to be around. We've all been there. Okay, so we have these groups of people that must advocate for themselves. And yet, we don't give folks the voices to advocate for themselves. But Jesus does. Jesus shows up to the very people that you and I refuse to listen to. And Jesus hands them a microphone. That's huge. Because not only is Jesus willing to spend time with this woman, he will alter his entire ministry based on this exchange. His ministry will become one of inclusion of everyone. This is really when we start to see Jesus turn and shift to a ministry around Gentiles. This is huge. This is absolutely enormous. It's an incredible shift. And folks, in 1977, we had an incredible shift. For those who were around in the 70s, you remember a lot of shifts. That's the era that my dad was in office, and there were incredible shifts. It was an incredible time. I challenge you, we are in a time where we need some incredible shifts. I challenge us, who are the women, who are the voices at the well that everyone else has been ignoring, that everyone seeks to silence, to say, no, not only do you not get a voice, we will take your voice away because we don't want to hear it. And how do you and I, as a church, offer a microphone? Because that's the challenge. How do we shift our ministries? Because that's what we're challenged to do. It's not enough to not persecute the woman at the well. That's not sufficient. That is not what we're called to do. We're not called to just be nice, to not go out of our way to harm other people. We are called by God to offer a microphone, to literally shift our ministries. What does that look like to you and to me? Who have I been ignoring? Who have I sought to silence because I find them threatening? That's a challenge for all of us. And this Lent, I ask us all to ask those questions. Because we've all been on the receiving end of that, right? You've all had someone in your life seek to silence you. It's not a good feeling. But it is a good feeling that your Redeemer, your Creator, your God, offers you a microphone and says, no, you matter. You matter more than anything. And I'm here to raise that up. So, our challenge today is to ask, who are the voices that have been silenced? And how do you and I give them a microphone?
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.